In our daily life, we use multiple products from clothing items, cosmetics, toiletries to electronic devices and vehicles. Did you ever consider how much carbon is produced until they get to your doorstep? To produce a single item, first, the manufacturers need to gather materials from all over the world, and after gathering them, they need to go through multiple stages of production process. Once the goods are finished and needs to be globally distributed through air or sea transportation, the products need to be unloaded from vehicles and be delivered to local shops. And finally, the customers purchase the products and bring them home. Each stage will create an immense amount of carbon, and this is only a process of a single product. Imagine what happens with all the products we use and even the food we consume. If this continues, the Earth will not cure on its own. And that's why numerous nations got together and came up with the grand plan of 2050 carbon neutralization. The first step is for large corporations to go green and eco-friendly, meaning that from the selection of raw materials to the end of the production process, little by little, each stage needs to go green and eco-friendly. And we, the next generation, should support these companies. Luckily, we have some front runners to guide us. For instance, the well-known furniture brand IKEA has restructured their supply chain and installed over 70,000 solar panels on their building. Another example could be the well-known software company, Adobe, got the Environmental Award for reducing 35% of electricity usage, more than 20% of CO2 emissions, and 41% of natural gas. They also recycled 90% of their solid waste. In like manner, IBM is well known for turning the lithium battery to 100% reusable, eco-friendly battery. Like this, carbon neutral companies are not hard to find, but one thing to be aware of is greenwashing. Some companies seem to be carbon neutral on the surface, but once you dig in, you'll find out that they're not. These companies are called greenwashing. Let me illustrate a few examples of greenwashing companies. One fuel company used children on their advertisement for natural gas to make a pure image and implanted the idea that natural gases are environmentally friendly. This is an example of greenwashing, where companies use pure image to cover up the actual fact of carbon. Another example is when one company announced that they replaced plastic straws to paper straws and also produce strawless plastic lids. At first, this seems like a great idea, but however, the brutal truth was that it needed 3 times more plastic than the plastic straws itself. Like this, some companies make small parts of their products eco-friendly and try to capitalize on it when their main product is non-carbon neutral. There are tons of greenwashing companies trying to use carbon neutralization as a marketing tool, but how would customers be able to distinguish if the company is greenwashing or not? In order for customers to distinguish greenwashing companies, they need to research, question, and pay attention to the labels. If the company website doesn't, customers should research about the company and look for solid data. If the company website doesn't exactly tell you what they used or how it is carbon neutral, you may directly contact the company and ask them questions. But if they still can't answer your question or doesn't provide a clear answer, you may have found greenwashing. You may also ask questions about how they are made or how they would be discarded. Lastly, pay attention to the labels. If you see any words that could be hazardous, such as cautious, used in a well-ventilated area, or contains 50% more recycled content, you may have found greenwashing companies. Back to our previous question, why is it so important to support these companies? Because once these firms grow, other firms will join carbon neutralization and reject greenwashing companies. Finally, we can create a society where everyone can play a role in true carbon neutralization. Thank you for listening.